Global Returns Project, we know that sustainable investing can deliver some excellent environmental solutions. But we also know that there are limits to what it can do, and those limits are what we try to address with our Global Returns Fund. Here to talk with me about what sustainable investing can and can't do is one of our trustees, Mike Jennings. Mike's career of over 30 years has been spent in investment management as a global equity manager and chief investment officer. He spent the last 7 years at TT International, where he was investment director responsible for liaison with sovereign wealth funds and institutional clients around the world. Mike, thanks so much for being here with me today.
Pleasure, Jack. Thank you.
So Mike, first question, what does sustainable investing do well, and what are its limitations?
Sure. Well, first of all, sustainable investment is crucial. It is a very important part of the jigsaw, and it must not be understated. Capital is targeted towards good companies, sustainable companies, that lowers their cost of capital, that raises their profitability. And conversely, if investors are starving those bad companies, those polluters, if they're starving them of capital, their cost of capital rises, and therefore their profitability falls. So it's a nice virtuous cycle. So it can't be understated. And I suppose one of the limitations is the most common part of ESG investment is called ESG integration. And again, this is good. The problem is ESG integration just means I will consider issues of environmental, social, and governance in my investment process. It doesn't necessarily mean I won't buy fossil fuel companies, I won't buy defense, I won't buy tobacco. So again, I would implore investors that are buying ESG investments to just look under the hood, just check what they're invested in, and check that actually they're not invested in the kind of things that they don't want to be invested in.
That's great. And now that we've talked about sustainable investing, Mike, what's the role of not-for-profit organizations in relation to market initiatives like ESG?
So sustainable investment is crucial, but it is only part of the jigsaw. The jigsaw also includes governments, it includes regulators, it includes consumers, and it also includes not-for-profit. And each of these parts is very important to complete the whole picture and to arrest climate change. So who stops Brazilian farmers from chopping down parts of the Amazon rainforest and converting into farmland? Well, private capital does not do that. Governments might do that. To be fair to them, it's a very large area and it's very difficult to do. So the answer probably is not for profit. You can buy up land, you can reforest, you can manage the forestry. What commercial organizations help save a dwindling whale population? Whales are great sequesters of carbon. Well, again, private capital doesn't do that. Governments might do, but it's a bit tricky because it sort of crosses boundaries and things. So the answer probably is not-for-profit. So not-for-profits have a crucial role in this regard. And for those viewers that are aware of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 13, 14, and 15, climate action, life below water, life on land, these are three areas where, in particular, private sector capital probably struggles to do as much as is required. And again, not-for-profit fills that gap.
Well, great. And finally, Mike, in addition to everything else you do, you're a trustee of the Global Returns Project. And I'm wondering, why did you join the Global Returns Project?
Well, that's easy, Jack. Two of my passions are investment and arresting the climate crisis. So when the Global Returns Project advertised for a trustee, it was just something that I just had to jump at, and I'm delighted to be on board. For those viewers that are not familiar with what we're doing at the Global Returns Project, the idea, as I've alluded to, is to complete the circle. Sustainable investment is vital, but for those that are genuinely concerned about it, the only logical, holistic solution is to complement their investment portfolio with impactful, not-for-profit donations. It's what we call symbiotic wealth management, completing the symbiotic cycle. Investing in earth as well as investing sustainably through capital markets. So the goal is therefore to target individual investors and financial intermediaries for whom we think this is the only logical solution. And also, given my 30+ year background in investment management, it also strikes me that fund managers really should be doing this, and we'd love to partner with fund managers that are managing and running impact or environment funds. I think need to put their money where their mouth is, and that means probably donating a decent proportion, 20-30% plus of their management fee to charitable impact charities. And this is certainly where we think the industry will end up, and it's the logical place that the industry should end up.
Well, this has been really interesting, Mike, and thank you again for being here today.
Great pleasure. Thank you very much.
And everyone can learn more about Symbiotic Wealth Management and the Global Returns Fund on our website, globalreturnsproject.earth. Thank you.